Welcome to the Raven Knoll Show. I'm your host, Raven C. Knoll. I'm a wife, mother, counselor, mindset coach, and speaker, helping you win from within. How y'all doing today? I know we all can be a little bit sluggish on Mondays, right? I know that we can sometimes have what you've heard of, that Monday blues, right? You don't necessarily want to get up and get going and be motivated because you just came off the weekend and you're like, okay, nobody wants to do this work on this Monday. And so you've probably experienced the Monday blues. You've probably feeling the Monday blues right now. And even statistically speaking, about 30% of people are less productive on Mondays. Like when they take surveys and they really do statistics around this, 30% of people are less productive on Mondays, and 50% of people are actually late to work on Mondays, y'all. And so you may be one of them. You may be one of them. But there are many psychological reasons it's hard to feel excited about Monday, okay? Or feel charged up about Monday. So maybe you don't like your job or the work that you do. Maybe you live for the weekends and transitioning into work mode on Monday is very hard. Maybe you just feel like you just have like this horrible work life setup and the thought of more work is draining before the week even starts. Or maybe you do a lot of work on weekends. And because of that, starting off a Monday or diving into work on Mondays is really hard for you, okay? And so having this draining, dreading, lack of motivation feeling about Monday can really make it hard for you to go after your goals this early in the week. Now, some people are just naturally motivated and they're just like, Mondays, bring it on. You have that type of attitude, but everyone's not like that, okay? So today I want to help you out with that. And I want to give you simple ways to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals, all right? So I'm going to give you a couple different ways that you can actually do this. And this is in no particular order, okay? So you can pick and choose and decide what works for you, how this, fits into your own individual workload or work week, but I want to give you some simple ways, all right? So the first simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is to reconnect with your why, okay? And we're going to dive straight in because I know y'all got work to do. So the first way a simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is to reconnect with your why. All right. We often get caught up in the doing. We're always producing, always going after something, always going, that we forget the why behind what we're doing in the first place. Anybody can say that's me. You forget the why behind why you're doing all of this in the first place. You're so on the go. There's so much doing. There's so much producing that you lose sight of, well, why am I even going after this goal in the first place? Why is this something that I set out to achieve for myself? And so this is why I strongly oppose the hustle and grind culture. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I strongly oppose the hustle and grind culture, because it can really disconnect you from the meaning behind your work. Okay, and every one of us has a different definition as to what work is for us, what we're producing, what we're going after as far as goals, what that looks like for us individually. Every one of us has a different, definition of that. And so, but when we're in this hustle and grind culture, it can really disconnect you from the meaning behind your why. Okay, the meaning behind your work, the meaning behind why you wanted to go after that goal in the first place. And so we forget why we're so passionate about achieving the goal. We forget the why behind, the meaning behind our actions, okay? Our why becomes completely displaced, and because of this, we lose that deep meaning behind what we're doing and the why behind what's driving us, okay? So the goal that's trying to be achieved, whatever that is for you, it becomes exhausting. It becomes overwhelming and sometimes even meaningless, right? You wake up and you're like, why am I even doing this in the first place? Like, where's the true meaning behind this? Where is the connection here? There's some type of disconnect here happening for me. And so that could be because you've lost the why behind your motivation. You've lost the why behind your momentum. You've lost the why behind why you're trying to achieve the goal in the first place, okay? So if that is you, and you've lost sight of your why, I strongly encourage you to reconnect with your why, okay? it's easier said than done. And so one of the exercises that I use with my clients to get to the root of their problem is this exercise that I like to call why times 5. And so basically, you can use this to question yourself 5 times by asking why to every answer you come up with. Typically do this into some deep diving work, but this can actually help you to reconnect with your why. If you ask yourself a question, why do I feel depleted? And you answer that question, you then want to go back and ask yourself why to the answer to that question until you feel reconnected and you determine your actual why again. All right. So another simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is to take a few days off and unplug. Listen, y'all. Listen, Linda. Listen. So many people feel like, oh no, I can't take a few days off. Everything will crash, or I fall behind in my work, or, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Listen to me. Resting is going to reduce your stress, it's going to boost your creativity, and it's going to increase your productivity. Let me say that again to you. Resting is going to reduce your stress, it's going to boost your creativity, and it's going to increase your productivity. People don't like to hear the word rest. They don't want to rest. We live in a very go-getter type of culture, and we want to achieve, mark off the to-do list, but we don't want to rest. And so when you do this, this is where your momentum is actually going to come from. Okay? This is where your momentum is actually going to be produced from. You want to partake in things that are going to allow your mind and your body to rest themselves. What you don't realize that your brain never turns off. People don't realize that. You think that when you're sleeping, like your brain turns off. Your brain is never not working. And so you have to be intentional about disconnecting and unplugging to be able to give yourself rest in different areas. Social rest. There are so many different things that you need to do. Mental and emotional health. All these different areas that you need to rest in. Physical rest, right? And so this can look like spa days. This can look like vacations. This can look like breaks from social media. This can look like more hours of sleep at night. This can look like reading books, uninterrupted you time, whatever that looks like for you, to be able to give your mind and your body an opportunity to actually rest. Okay? And so trust me when I say you are helping your brain function better when you rest. You are doing yourself a favor when you rest. So that's extremely important. And then also, just to put a nugget here too, for those who are more faith-based, let's put this in the context of spiritual rest, okay? Oftentimes, we're striving and not trusting God. And that striving is producing fear and anxiety within us. When we're not living in the cadence of God, when we're not allowing ourselves to rest in the Lord, we're striving to produce. And that striving to produce is also producing fear and anxiety within us. And so it's a fear and anxiety that's attached to a result that you're trying to achieve, or a goal that you want to kind of cross off, right? And so resting in God is going to produce peace, and it's also going to remove a striving mindset. And so, for my Bible readers out there, those that like the scriptures, like me, okay? The Bible says in John 15:4, abide in me and I in you. And as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in him. We have to do a better job at trusting God enough to follow him. We have to do a better job at trusting God enough to become one with him. We have to do a better job with trusting God enough to rest in him. Okay? If you stay close to him, he's going to stay close to you. So that requires unplugging from the noise and the chaos of everyday life and drawing close to him. That's another way of resting, trusting, abiding, following, leaning on, okay? So another simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is to get organized and structured, y'all. So many of us have so many things that we want to do. We got so many ideas, so much creativity busting out the seams, right? There's so much happening, but we're not organized and structured to get the clarity that we need. Becoming more organized and structured is actually going to help you gain the clarity you need in the long run to be able to have the momentum necessary to go forward and accomplish the goal that you want to go forward and accomplish. And sometimes there's so many moving parts to what we do and who we are. There's so many tabs open in our mind, the chaos of it all, the disorganization of it all. It can be a lot, let's just be honest. It can be a lot. Those that are goal driven, those that want to go after things, those that want to, really move forward in their vision or whatever that looks like, it can be a lot. And it can also really cause you to slow down your momentum and your forward momentum because you have so much open in your mind, right, that you can't actually get it done. So I want to encourage you at the beginning of the week, I want to encourage you to start brain dumping. This is something that's not like a new tactic or strategy. People know about it, yet they don't do it. I'm sure I've talked about it before. There's other people online that talk about brain dumping and how beneficial it is, but people know about certain things, but they don't do it. You hear about a good method, but you don't put the method in action. And so this can be done on like a Sunday or a Monday. And basically what you want to do is you want to get everything out of your head and onto paper. I mean, it seems very simple, yet I'm giving you these tips in simple ways, but let's see how you actually implement them. That's the important part, right? And so you want to get everything out of your head and onto paper. Everything that's like you're thinking about, I need to get this done, I need to do this, I need to put this on my to-do list, I need to check mark this off, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Get everything out of your head and onto paper. And then you don't want to stop writing until you feel the pressure lift and a sigh of relief that, whew, okay, I feel better. Okay, whew, kind of feel like I'm not all over the place anymore. It's not chaotic. My mind's not cluttered. I don't feel as overwhelmed anymore. Kind of that breath of release, you know what I mean, that you feel when you kind of get everything in order. That's when you stop writing. So keep writing everything in your mind, everything in your head, everything you're thinking about. Brain dump that on paper until you have that sigh of relief, okay? And so that way, it's going to help you become more structured in your week. And it's going to give you, having that structure and that organization is going to allow you to take proper or actionable steps to move you forward. Okay. Because then, you're going to determine what's a priority. Sometimes we have all these different things in our mind. We have all these different thoughts. We have all these different things that we want to accomplish. And we're like, you have to ask yourself, like, what's an actual priority right now? Like, once you get all this stuff on paper and you can see it, you're like, I've been doing a lot of busy work, but I'm not doing necessary work, right? There's a lot of things that we do that can be busy or make us look busy or seem like we're getting stuff done, but it's actually not moving us forward. And so it's a lot of busy work, but it's not a lot of necessary work. And that's what's important, okay? And so once you get all this stuff on paper, we got to figure out what's priority. And then you even need to figure out what's, like I said, what's not necessary. What can I just remove and just does not need to get done? And I don't even need to put on my to-do list. That's just taking up my time, but it's not actually helping me be productive. Okay. So these are the things that we want to think about. All right. So another simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is to talk it out. Talk it out, y'all. Talk it out. You need like-minded people around you. Okay? I'm going to put it simple as that. You cannot be the only person in your circle. You cannot be the only person in your friend group. You cannot be the only person amongst your peers that's a goal-getter, that's trying to go somewhere, trying to do things, or trying to accomplish something. You cannot be the only person that's the motivator. You cannot be the only person that has a vision. You cannot be the only person that's trying to, break generational curses. You cannot be the only person that's trying to do the inward work to transform. You cannot be the only person. You need like-minded people around you that is going to drive you. You need like-minded people around you that are going to push you. You need like-minded people around you that are going to ignite a fire within you. Okay? Because if not, then you're going to get stuck in your own head. Sometimes, like I said, we have all these dreams, all these different things, all this vision, all these goals that we want to accomplish, but we get stuck in our head and we can't actually move forward. That's because you have no one around you. You have everyone that's probably in a mindset that's lower than the one that you have. And what I mean by that is that they're okay with being mediocre, or they're okay with not moving forward. They're okay with the success that they've had so far. It's like, I don't really want to rock the boat. I don't really want to challenge myself. I don't really want to go further. Or they're just lacking motivation, lacking discipline, lacking vision, lacking they lack. That's just what it is. It's a mindset of lack. It's a mindset of poverty. It's a mindset of not really trying to do the work necessary to go. It's a fixed mindset. And so if you have people like that around you, you're going to start looking like that. You're going to get stuck in your head. Even if you are a person that's self-motivated, even if you are a person that really, has big vision, big dreams, big goals, if everyone around you is stuck, the next thing, who you think next is going to be stuck? If everybody around you is stuck, who's the next person to get stuck? Let's just be real about it, okay? And so that's why I said you need like-minded people around you so you don't get stuck in your own head, because your thoughts will start to lie to you. Your environment will begin to play a big part on your thought life. Your environment will start to play a big part. It does in general. But when you do start to have this passion or this drive to go forward and to move forward, and you don't have like-minded people around you, that environment is going to play a part on your mindset and your thought life. And so your thoughts are going to start lying to you. They're going to start telling you what you can't do instead of what you can do. You're going to wake up thinking about all your limitations instead of thinking about the risks that you need to take, or the steps that you need to take, or what you need to get done to be able to move yourself forward. So you want to be intentional about that, okay? And so your momentum is going to severely slow down if you don't have the right people around you, all right? So going after your goals and accomplishing the life, that you desire is no easy feat. That's not easy, okay? So you really want people with a similar drive and ambition, or even people that with a greater drive or a greater ambition than you, to really hold you accountable, and again, to ignite you and to push you forward and to encourage you. You want people that inspire you around you. You don't want people where you got to pull them up all the time, where you're like, come on, girl, like, now there's seasons for that. There's times for that. When you do have friendships and different things like that, people may have low moments, but you don't want people that you're constantly trying to drag with you, because again, that's going to slow down your momentum. You need people that inspire you, that spark something within you to move forward and get things done. Okay. Y'all following me? I know I'm going through this pretty fast. And then lastly, the last simple way to reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals is you want to do the work to forgive yourself for past failures, okay? And just times and areas that you feel like you didn't hit the mark. Sometimes we're carrying around this grudge with ourselves. There's this unforgiveness with ourselves because of last time we did it, I failed. Or last time I did it, I didn't accomplish it the way that I wanted to. Or last time I did it, I didn't hit the goal, or I missed the mark. You start to hold on to those things. You begin to blame yourself for not accomplishing what you had set out to accomplish. So whether you felt like you've allowed self-sabotage to get the best of you, whether you felt like you've allowed insecurities to get the best of you, whether you feel like you've allowed procrastination to get the best of you, even if you feel like you've quit on yourself before, you can't sit in that failure, because that's going to turn into shame. That's going to turn into shame and guilt, and that's going to slow you down even more. And that's even more stuff that you have to unravel and work through and really process through and really take the time to heal from. And so sitting in that failure is going to eventually weigh you down. Again, our thought life is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. I don't think people realize how powerful your thought life truly is. Like sometimes we realize that there may be something out of whack, or you may feel like, I've been discouraged, or, I don't always think positively. There's some negative thoughts that I'm constantly battling with, and all these different things, but you don't really realize how powerful, like, your thought life can make or break you. Your thought life can literally make or break you when it comes to achieving anything in life. Your mindset can make or break you. And so you have to be intentional about working through these things, because that's going to be the number one thing that stops you. People always think, oh, it's other people, or it's my circumstances, or it's a lack of finances, or whatever it is. No, it's your thought life and your mindset. Those are the things those two things are going to make or break you in the long run. And so if you invest anywhere, if you ask for help anywhere, if you do work anywhere, you want to do work that's associated and tied to your thought life and your mindset. Because those two things, again, I'll say it 100,000 times, they will make or break you. So when we think about failure overall, failure is an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to pivot. It's an opportunity to start again. It's an opportunity to better yourself. But depending on how your mindset is set up, depending on how your thought life is set up, you can look at failure and feel like there's nothing left, right? There's no other options. I can't go anywhere after this. Failure is the end all be all. There is no overcoming this, depending on the type of mindset and thought life you have. But if you have one that is more fixed on growth and progression and learning and evolving and being resilient, then you're going to look at that failure and you're going to say, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I pivot from this? If I need to take a few steps back, how can I start over? How can I better myself through this? Right? So it really depends on if you're going to let your thought life lie to you and talk to you and tell you this is the end all be all, or if you have, specific things in place to help motivate you and to really take a hold of those thoughts and redirect them. So never allow failure to keep you down. Learn the lesson and try again. Learn the lesson and try again. So those are important things to think about, right? Those are simple ways to really reignite your momentum to accomplish your goals this week. So just to let you know, if you are interested in working with me, my 8-week Mindset to Momentum Intensive is now open for enrollment. And this is for overwhelmed female leaders who want to accomplish at least 2 of their personal and professional goals by transforming their thinking without burning out in just 8 weeks. So this is the intensive version. Come 2023, this will be a 6-month program once I have my baby, but it is application based. So if you are interested in applying, go to mindset2momentum.com to apply and book a call with me. And you can also feel free to DM me goals. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. Okay. So if you are a female leader and you're ready to ditch overwhelm and finally achieve your goals with ease, let's do this work. All right. Got through all my material. Hope it motivated you and encouraged you for the week. Is this mind dumping? Should the same things come up every week? So it could. So every week there could be things that come up, like, for example, if you have to check your emails every week, right? If on Mondays, you need to check your emails or whatever that looks like, or you have something that's a standing thing or a standing habit, discipline, a goal that you want to accomplish every week, then there can be some things that come up, but I guarantee you there'll probably be some other things, because when you are working towards a goal, you'll realize that, okay, when you start brain dumping, you'll figure out, okay, there may be 10 things that you need to do to accomplish that goal, right? 10 actionable steps that you need to take to accomplish that goal. And there could be some fluff in your mind, right? Thinking about what you have to do to accomplish that goal. There could be some things that aren't really productive, some things that you really don't need to accomplish. And so when you brain dump, you'll be able to see that on paper and say, is that really necessary for me to accomplish this? Maybe it's actually 7 actionable steps and not 10 actionable steps that I need to take. And then you also will be able to think about what's priority for me to be able to do now, and what can be pushed to like week 2 or week 3 or, next month or whatever it looks like, what needs to be get done now and what can be pushed to later. So there's different things that, brain dumping will help you do, but it helps you get organized and clear. And so there may be some standing things that come up every week when you are brain dumping, but then there may be some new things that come up as well, where you're like, oh, this week I actually need to get this done. Maybe whatever you did last week produced some new to-dos that need to be accomplished this upcoming week. And so it just depends on the week, but there can be some similarities and there can be some new things that come up as well. So I hope that helped. What What's your practical ways to begin that process of organizing and structuring work-home life? Okay, good. So that's a great question. So, again, we have to really realize like what's necessary, what's busy work. What's the difference between those different things? What's just busy work that's just keeping me idle, that doesn't necessarily move me forward, that doesn't necessarily need to be done, that can really be removed from like my day-to-day routine or the things that I'm trying to accomplish. And then you want to think about what's necessary, what absolutely has to get done. Family, home life, work life, whatever that looks like, what absolutely has to get done. Maybe that's taking your kids to school. That absolutely has to get done. Or, waking them up in the morning or getting them on the bus or packing their lunch, whatever that looks like. That absolutely has to get done. There's some things you cannot remove, but there could be other things that you're doing that's just keeping you idle. So that's what I would first, when you do brain dump, you can do this at the beginning of the week. And then you can do it every single day as well. Just depending, you can have a main brain dump that happens at the beginning of the week where you're like dumping everything out. But then as you go through the week, you may realize that, I probably need to start my day with brain dumping. Even though I've organized my week, there may be things that are on my plate that I didn't realize. There may be things that shifted or changed. And so now I need to go through a re-brain dumping every single day. That could be more of a mini brain dumping than this large, brain dumping that you do at the beginning of the week. And so I would say the practical ways to begin that process is that start with a day that you decide this is going to be my brain dumping day, right? Like maybe it's a Sunday evening, maybe it's a Monday morning, this is my week brain dump. And then from there, decide what time every single day you may do a mini brain dump where you change things around or you add or subtract from your day. Okay, so that's like step one, step two. And then, like I said, you have to figure out what's priority, what's necessary, and what's just busy work, right? What's just things that don't need to be there, and start removing the things that are kind of idle and aren't really moving you forward. And you may be able to realize this or come into a knowledge of this by kind of analyzing your day to day. So on Monday, what did I actually get done? And what did I not actually get done, right? Like what needs to change in this kind of structure? And so as you continue to do that, that will help you to actually see how your days work and what worked best for you. Every day is not going to be the same. I don't believe in a work-life balance. I believe in a work-life setup that produces a work-life rhythm. And so your rhythm will change day to day. But if you have the right structure in place, you'll be able to move and navigate with the right rhythm throughout your day. And so I'm always giving myself cushion as well in between like different things that I have to do and different things I have to accomplish, because you never know what can happen, especially when you got kids. Okay, especially when you got kids, you don't know what your day gonna look like. So those are just different things that I would suggest as far as like getting started. But you really have to get into the groove and gain that momentum in your day to day to be able to see where can I shift, where can I change, where can I subtract, where can I add, where can I change things up, a little bit. So that would be my suggestion as far as practical steps to help. Okay. And another question, how do you go about breaking your goals down into manageable steps? So what I do, and someone else may give you a different perspective on this, but I like to look at the bigger picture. I like to look at the bigger picture overall. Here's my big goal vision, right? Here's the big end goal that I want to see. And then from there, you can kind of work backwards. So let's say, for example, let's give this example, okay? So let's say I'm a person who wants to wake up 2 hours earlier every day, right? That is my goal. That is my big vision. I need to get, I want to wake up from waking up at 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day. Like I want to make that jump. I want to make that leap. I want to make that change. You know that your body is not just going to adjust to that overnight. I tell people, don't do anything drastic where you're like jumping from A to Z and you're not giving your mind and your body time to adjust. It's like a shock factor. It doesn't help. It actually has a reverse effect. Okay. So let's say that's the overall goal. I want to wake up 2 hours earlier, from 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. every single day. What I would suggest is waking up 10 to 15 minutes earlier every day until you meet that 6 a.m. So you may wake up on Monday at 8 a.m. Okay. So then on Tuesday, we want to wake up at 7:50, 7:45. On Wednesday, we want to continue to work ourselves backwards until we meet that goal. You want to give your mind and your body, your brain time to reset and refresh itself to be able to get into that natural rhythm. We don't want to have shock factor. That's what we don't want. We don't want a shock factor, okay? Because like I said, that's going to have a reverse effect. You want to naturally ease into what it is that you're trying to do. So that is the same for any goal that you're trying to accomplish. You want to naturally ease into actually making that goal happen. So if I have a big picture, and let's say I want to accomplish it a month from now, let's think about everythto I need to do to get to that goal within a month. And so you can break that down into step 1, here's the first thing I need to do. And maybe I need to do that for 3 days. And then step 2, here's the second thing I need to do. Maybe I need to do that for 4 or 5 days. And then you can start to readjust as you see yourself progress. So we want to take smaller steps, bite sizes until I can eat the whole meal. Excuse me, right? I want to take bite sizes of this burger. I want to take bite sizes until I can actually consume the whole thing. No one just takes a whole burger and just like smashes it down. It's not natural to our human body to be able to do that. So when you think about even in the natural, you take bite sizes of things before you can actually consume the whole thing or actually meet that mark. So that is one of the ways you can think about trying to actually achieve small steps and different things of that nature. Okay. All right. I'm glad y'all liking this advice. I'm busy all the time doing nothing. At least I feel this way. And so if you do feel like that, like you feel like you're just doing a lot of busy work, you really just want to take some time to just step back. That's my best suggestion for that. Excuse me. If you feel like you're constantly consumed with busy work that's not actually pushing you forward, that's not productive. Like, we just have to call a spade, right? We just have to call the truth. If you are doing busy work and you don't feel like it's actually moving you forward, that is not productive. It's just busy work. It's nothing that's actually you're doing to actually move yourself forward. And so you want to take a step back from just busying yourself. Sometimes it's something within us that makes us feel like, and again, it has a lot to do with this hustle and grind culture to make us feel like we have to be doing something to look productive. And it's just not true. If you're not actually moving forward in productivity, it's a waste of time. It's busy work. It's idle things that are happening. And then sometimes as well, we'll do things that cause us to be idle so that we don't have to really look in the mirror and face ourselves. Right? So we'll just do all this busy work to consume our time, to consume our thought life, to consume us so that we don't actually have to look in the mirror and say, oh, you know what? You're actually not doing much. Like you're not actually getting any work done, or you're just actually, you're not actually pushing forward with your goals. And so a lot of us do that. A lot of us busy ourselves. We make ourselves seem very busy. We idle ourselves with things that are not productive because we don't want to face the fact that we're not actually doing anything to move us forward. So I would suggest slowing down, unplugging, pulling back, taking some days off from actually busying yourself with all this idle work, and give yourself time to reflect and refresh. Okay? We want to reflect on, what am I actually trying to cover up? That's something that's important too. We're going to tell the truth. What am I actually trying to cover up? I'm this busy, but nothing is actually happening or moving me forward. Why do I feel the need to continue to be busy? What is that hiding? What is that covering up? What is that causing me not to face? What is that doing for me? So we want to unplug and step back and reflect on why that's happening and what's occurring internally within us that's causing us to produce through life that way. Okay. So I would definitely say that is something that's very important for you to do. Okay. All right. Done. Listen, it's the truth, y'all. Y'all know I be coming in here with the truth. I can't sugarcoat it. I got to give it to you real. That's the only way that you're going to be challenged and grow. If I don't give it to you real, it ain't going to challenge you. Okay. So I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you real. All right. motivation and answering some of your questions and really trying to get you structured and aligned to, really reignite you to go after whatever it is that you feel like you want to go after, and whatever it is that you feel like, is your vision for the week, or your vision for your life, your business, your career, whatever that is for you. So hope this was helpful. I hope that it was very motivating at the same time, and I hope that it reignites your momentum. So make sure you don't just take what I say and throw it away. Okay? We want to implement the information, implement what's being said, challenge yourself to include this in your day-to-day, discipline yourself to show up in this capacity. This is how we grow. We don't just digest information. We actually put the information into motion. Okay? We actually take action after the things that we are learning, and we put them in our day-to-day routines. All right? So this was not for you to hear it and do nothing with it. I want you to actually partner with this information. Take a moment, analyze your life, and be like, okay, these are the things that she said. How does this work for me? How do I include this in my day-to-day? How do I include this in my life? How can I shift my mindset? How can I take some time to analyze my thought life and what's going on in my individual days? We want to take action. Okay? We don't want to just digest information. We want to take action towards that information. Okay? All right, y'all. Thanks for rocking and rolling with me today. Hope that this was enjoyable. Hope that it was helpful. And I hope that this actually moves you forward. All right. This has been the Raven Knoll Show. Thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to this podcast so you're the first to know when new episodes are released. And don't forget to leave a review. If you can't wait until the next show, follow along on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter at Raven C. Knoll for more tips and to keep the conversation going. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram or take a screenshot of this podcast and share it to your IG stories. I want to know about your takeaways from the show. Don't forget to tag me and use the hashtag RCNPodSquad. Lastly, visit my website at ravencnoll.com and join my email list to get exclusive bonuses only for my email subscribers. Thanks again for rocking and rolling with me. I'll talk to you soon.